Greetings, Truth Seekers. Today's program is going to be amazing because I have a surprise guest. Everyone in the chat room, put your first name and your last name and where you're from. We're going to be talking about something that has never, ever been talked about. And I know everybody is probably listening with their ears itching. What could this be? What could this be? What could this be? We're live right now, and I'm going to type something in the chat room so that you guys can see, that only the people in the chat room can see. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm not going to start it until you hit the like button. Give me some crickets. Give me some crickets. Give me some crickets. They're sitting on me. They're sitting on me. They're sitting on me. Today, we're going to talk about the 47th president, but we have someone that is your most trusted name in prophecy. I need everyone to type in the chat room who this could be. Give me a little Jeopardy music. Who can this be? You won't know until we come right back after these messages.
Check out Prophet Manasseh Jordan teaching on the seven-headed dragon.
We're talking about the seven-headed dragon and each principality, the seven principalities that rule on this planet, was ruled by a particular spirit, and that particular spirit is what is principality, is what is reigning over America. That's what's reigning over America. Did I get your attention? Now, and then Bible says it was seven-headed, and then there's a seventh one. And the seventh one is the one that rules over what's going to come. And this one, God, this is the one that rules over the Antichrist. The Bible speaks about this militant ruler that will come into power, a man of valor. We know this because of the way the Bible describes it, and this is really him when we see the picture of the man riding the white horse. It's not Jesus, the first man. There will be one. When Jesus comes, he's wearing the diadem, but this is a different crown. In Revelation, it speaks about this, but this is the Antichrist, and he will be ruled by the seventh-headed.
Stay connected to Prophet Manasseh Jordan. Text the words text MJ to 33339. That's TEXT MJ to 33339.
God bless you, and we're here with the master prophet, the Archbishop Bernard Jordan, my dad. He's a doctor. He has written hundreds of books. He has several doctorates degree. He has written prophecy to the nation. A big hand clap for the master prophet. Bless you, Daddy. Today is going to be awesome, Dad. But, Dad, I'm reminded of the written judgments prophecy. You have captivated America with writing these prophecies to the stage. You wrote about the first African-American president. You wrote about a voice that would be coming out of West Virginia that would shake the world. This was in the 80s. Master Prophet, talk to the people. And now we're going to talk about what we see and what you see for the 47th president.
Well, the written judgments book, God gave it to me to write it in 5 volumes. I wrote 4. The 5th volume seemed so, it was way beyond paranormal.
Whoa.
To the point that I had to stop. And what I was hearing voices coming from other towns.
Whoa.
I saw aliens, beings coming down. I saw cars flying in the air. Now, this is in the 1990s. I saw where we were going to be driving, and our cars would lift, and there would be air taxis, and all this happening in the airways. And I saw things I couldn't explain. I saw men walking around on the earth helmets and because of objects that would be falling out of the sky. And now, only today, I'm starting to begin to notice that we are now entering into a space age where people are getting ready to take vacations to the moon. These is the type of things that I saw coming. Now, the things that I wrote about was like Katrina.
I remember that. The year, you even called out the year and the state, yeah.
And you're seeing that take place. We called out about the first African-American president and said, do not rejoice. And so today...
And you had it hyphenated, which was very peculiar.
An American, yeah. And he was. His father was African and his mother was American.
Wow.
And so you begin to see, we've had our first president, black man in office, but he was a black man, but didn't come through the Middle Passage.
Wow.
Which means that he really came from two free parents. A white mother and an African father. Neither one of them have slavery in their history.
Wow. So, Master Prophet, with that being said, I was in the car and I called Dad and I said, Dad, I'm feeling an urge to talk about where this country is about to go prophetically and what's going to entail with this next president, the 47th president. And then we started to discuss and talked about it prophetically because the nation is in a major crisis, and I don't think the people really understand what's going on prophetically.
That call, it was kind of interesting because the room that I was put in was 308. I believe it was a 506 rather. And I said, why am I in room 506?
Oh, wait a second. We didn't tell the story. We were walking, see, y'all don't know. We were taking Dad to a room he did not know because he did not know what room we were taking him to. And so he gets off the elevator and he doesn't know where he's going. You know, matter of fact, he was sleeping in the car. So he just woke up. He was half asleep. I said, Dad, come on. We're going to take you to your room. And we're up in Palm Beach. And so I'm taking him to his room. And when he gets off the elevator, he goes, why am I seeing 506? And I'm thinking that he saw something. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I don't even know the room that I'm taking him to because it's the room that a couple owns it. They own so many units in this building. They're very wealthy. And so they own all these units in this building. He says, I'm seeing 506. So I'm looking at my phone to figure out what room they told me to take because they own so many apartments in the building. There's no way I would know. And I said, wait a second. I said, that's the room I'm taking. And I said, did you see something? And he says, no, I just saw 506. And his room number was 506.
And so we were in the room, I'm in the room, and I'm sitting saying, 506. He says, I want to do a show on the 47th president. You felt quickened. And I said, I'm at 506, why not? Because 47 is an 11. And I was sleeping in 506, which is an 11. And it says there's something about this 11 that we're supposed to talk about. And so we're going to talk to you about the 47th president and what's going to be the journey, what may be the challenges as well as the blessings.
Wow. Now, before we talk about the 47th president, I need everyone to hit the like button. I need everyone to subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed, because the information that we are about to release here for the first time, you can take it to the bank. I need you to hit the share button, share it to 5 or 8 people in America that might need to hear this. I don't care if they're not a believer. I don't care where, but they might need to hear this word, because there's going to be some critical information that's going to be spoken about the 47th president. We'll be right back after these messages.
Check out Prophet Manasseh Jordan teaching on the seed of Satan.
Where is the headquarters of Lucifer? Where is his headquarters? Is his headquarters in America? Is it in Washington, D.C.? Is it in Detroit, Michigan? Is it in Paris? Is it in Europe? Is it in France? Where is the headquarters of Lucifer?
Stay connected to Prophet Manasseh Jordan. Text the words text MJ to 33339. That's TEXT MJ to 33339.
All right, we're back. We're talking about what the Lord has shown us about the 47th president. With the master prophet, your most trusted name in prophecy, and I myself, Prophet Manasseh Jordan. We're going to start, though, with talking about a little bit of background of what the Lord has shown us about the 47th president. Master Prophet.
Well, I want to say here, for those that are watching, they need to know that God always puts seers in every community. And even Israel, I want to say, have a tribe of seers. And I want to go to 1 Chronicles chapter 12, verse 32, if I may. And it says, and the children of Issachar, 1 Chronicles 12, 32, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do. And the heads of them were 200, and all of their brethren were at their commandments. So here we have the sons of Issachar, which was one of the smallest tribes of Israel, who God gave them the gift to have the understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do. We prophesied about a virus coming. God gave us understanding of the times. Before the virus hit, we were 4 years earlier sitting every other seat and practicing social distancing as a prophetic act right there at Zoe Ministries. We also prophesied concerning the vaccination that would be unlike any other vaccine that would be given. This was all written in the written judgments. And so God speaks to his people and to the church periodically about things to come. We're now in a transition as a nation that this 47th president is going to lead us through some very critical times and bring us to the edge of America's next civil war.
Whoa. Wow. 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 It's interesting that you said that, Master Prophet, because when you said that, I was praying, and the Lord gave me a scripture that would represent the background about the 47th president. I need everyone to go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9. Because one of the things about this particular 47th president is that he's going to be a person that will look as if, or will appear to be dead in a sense, almost as if he is the lame duck in and before his running of the running of the presidency. This is very important because when I prayed, the Lord gave me 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9, and it begins to declare in 2 Corinthians 4, verse 9, persecuted but not forsaken, struck down but not This is going to be a leader that has endured some hardship, but has emerged stronger and unscathed.
So what is going to happen is that it's like the phoenix that goes down into the fire and resurrects up out of the ashes. And we are in a season that America is going to be thrown into a period of transition like it has never known before. So the president, the 47th president, will be forced to lead America through a collective transformation as a civilization. What's going to take place is that civilization as we have known it. So let me put this in reverse. The 47th president is going to be like the 11th president. The first 11th president of America was President Polk, I believe his name was. And Polk, I believe it's William Polk, I believe it is. William Polk had to lead America through one of the transitional periods. James Polk, okay, I wonder why I got Williams. I wonder if this is the middle. Oh, no, never mind, let me leave that alone. I want to probably rename the president James William Polk or William James. Okay, but anyway, is bringing America into a transformative period. And it was interesting because that first 11th president was a Democrat. Now, the 47th president, you're looking here for a personality. And the thing that is going to be surprising is that your 47th president, you need to hear this in principle. Because in this reign of the 47th, something is happening with this baton that it feels like it is fumbling back and forth. Like the baton is handed, but then it is taken, but then taken and then handed again. Now, that will mean whatever it needs to be, but I'm getting a baton being handed, but it's handed over with great uncertainty. So this is going to be something. So with the 47th president, and I've written out some notes here, we're going to see here that there's going to be the transformation that is going to be leading in an age of technology, but most of all, leading America and the world into an age of innovation. In other words, the innovation that is coming, they won't be able to stop it, and it will force the government to upgrade at massive levels that they never expected to upgrade into.
It's interesting that you said the thing about the fumbling of the baton, because one of the things that I wrote down about this 47th president is that there's going to be a major situation with Congress around presidential power. Whoever this 47th president is, they're going to use presidential power either to pardon or to do things that people will look at as if it is unethical. So there's going to be some type of raise or some type of question that is going to be raised around presidential power and if they should still continue to give the president certain executive orders or executive power to be able to do what they're going to do in the White House.
So with the 47, is a master number. So they're going to operate and forget that they are president and feel as though they are master of the house. Jesus. And this is where you're going to get now, whereby on the positive side, a master number can demonstrate power that is transformative, but try to lead a democracy and to be a master, which means that they're going to sometimes find themselves trying to step away, which is not going to be good in this season, from the collective and kind of try to operate as the individual. And this is where the conflict is going to be in constant conflict and turmoil, because they're going to try to operate in the spirit of the number of the master, which means they're going to have to learn how to master in collective consciousness. which means that they got to raise the vibration of mastery to the collective and not to the individual.
I need everyone to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share, because we're about to go into some other critical things, but we need to know that you are listening. I need everyone to hit the like button, hit the share button. Do not play. This is going to be powerful. We are talking about the 47th president. Now, it's interesting, Master Prophet, because the Lord gave me the scripture in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20. And when he gave me this scripture, he says this also represents the background, because this is the president, the 47th president is going to have to deal with when Joseph spoke to Pharaoh about the first 7 years, I believe it was. And that was the years that they had to reserve or had to save. So this is a president that deals with a major financial warfare, but they're going to have a conservative, idealist attitude around monetary things. But this is also a president that will have some type of, or give some type of leniency around oil.
So,
I just want to read that scripture in Proverbs 21, verse 20. It says, precious treasure and oil are in the wise man's dwelling, but a foolish man devours it.
yes. So in the 47th presidency, we're going to also start to see that oil was used as a currency, but I want you to consider the new oil. And it's going to be crypto. That means there's getting ready to be a change in the monetary system. The dollar came into power. The US dollar was created in the 1780 something. It is now getting ready to go through a renovation. So the paper money we have used is going to begin to start to become extinct under this 47th president. And there's going to be a different type of currency. And this is part of the thing that was spoken of in written judgments in 1988 when we wrote it. We says that the dollar will become weak and to watch the coins. This was before there was Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, which didn't come for about another 7 years after that prophecy was written in Written Judgments, Volume 1. Well, the coin is going to come into the forefront. And lately, I have been doing some crazy things with Bitcoin because the Spirit of the Lord spoke to me about 2 months before this broadcast. And I found a way to go into the market and to invest in just Bitcoin. And I got involved in something that started paying dividend. And it was just something that's amazing. I've never touched it. I've only entered into it because the Lord has begun to show me something about this is going to be not only the currency of the future, but we're going to soon hear something about Bitcoin that's going to change people's lives forever. And so this next president is going to lead a revolution in not only just technology, but also in currency. Everything about this flow in this next cycle is going to change the entire flow of the way America would even flow.
Wow. Now, wow, this is powerful. When you said that about the currency part, the Lord also spoke to me about that something about this presidency is also going to be doing something to empower the Midwest.
Well, here you're coming down through pipelines, Indian reservations, all of the cultural spirits that have brought America into what America is, that have been ignored, voices is going to surface to the top. And with this season, We're probably going to see in this season coming into the 47th presidency. Now watch this. In 47, because I'm looking at the two ones dancing before me, we're going to witness two deaths of former presidents, or a president that is and a president that was.
Wow. Jesus.
And if you start looking, it's like all of creation is in pause and waiting for that cycle to come into play. When that cycle comes into play, it's going to represent not only a change in America, but it's going to be a change of ideology, a rethinking of policy, and therefore there's going to be a new mandate to bring structure to this new America that's emerging, and is going to allow voices that could not get on the mic is going to get on the mic, and the level of sensitivity is going to go out around the world concerning the new America that's getting ready to emerge. And so with this emerging that is going to come, it's going to be an economic windfall, but it's also going to be a cultural colliding, because now these here voices that have been suppressed is going to begin to ask for equal footing and command America to live up to the promise that it has written in its own Constitution that all men would be created equal.
Wow, 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 wow. Now, this is interesting because there's also going to be some things that under the 47th president that's going to represent this financial conservative ideal. And although they will appear to be one way in terms of environmentally friendly, there's going to be a lot of things that they're going to do that is going to affect the environment in a negative way. And there's going to be some type of deal that's going to be created that deals with drilling and tapping into some of the resources that America was going to start to do, but they stopped to do. Has the Lord showed you anything around that? Because I was getting that also while I was in prayer.
Yeah, I'm for some reason my mind is going around the Dakotas, and I'm moving all through the Dakotas and coming down through and these are going to be the emerging of voices that are going to, we're going to start to see in the 47th presidency, or creeping up roundabout there, this whole conversation of sacred lands. And there's going to be places that are going to be deemed sacred, but the sacredness of it is only going to be highlighted because of the value that's going to be in its soil. And so this is going to be a thing that's going to come up before Congress and before and people are going to have to make a choice about, do we honor the past or do we try to preserve the future? And that is going to be the debate that is going to be on hand.
Now, I'm looking also around the cabinet, around the 47th president. And there is a woman that stands in the background that holds a strong voice, but she's muted. When I see the woman, she stands and has an authoritative position, but is muted, mouth is covered. And so she represents someone that will have some type of indigenous or Native American background. But she will also be the face of something that they will use to cripple or to disempower a group of people under this administration as well. There's so many things here. Click the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. We're talking about the 47th president. There's some more critical things that we're seeing here. Critical things. Like what's going to happen to the nation, which groups are going to feel oppressed, and the brink of the civil unrest. You're watching News Meets Revelation. There's a lot more things. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll be right back after these messages.
check out Prophet Manasseh Jordan's teaching on the curse of the first.
They begin to start worshiping what is known as the golden calf. The golden calf in paganism, which deals with astrology, this has to deal with the fallen sciences that the fallen angels taught humanity. They were worshiping Venus, and one of the ways that they worshiped Venus was through these idols that they created, which was the calf. The calf during that time represents the age of Taurus. That's enough!
Stay connected to Prophet Manasseh Jordan. Text the words text MJ to 33339. That's TEXT MJ to 33339.
Okay, we are back. We're so excited. We're talking about the 47th president with Master Prophet, and there's some other things that are critical that we want to share. Now, Master Prophet, the state of the nation during this administration. When I prayed, the Lord gave me Isaiah 59, verse 9, and the Bible begins to declare, "Therefore is judgment far from us, neither doeth justice overtake us. We wait for the light, but we behold obscurity, for brightness, but we walk in darkness." And the reason why the Lord gave me that scripture is because what's going to happen is that during the time that this administration takes office, there's going to be a lot of disharmony and a lot of disarray. There's going to be a lot of confusion around this election, and even something that's going to be very bizarre that we're going to witness take place around the electoral college and the way how certain things are calculated and look. So when we talk about justice, one of the things that we're going to see is that there's going to be something that's going to cause things to be very unrestful around this particular administration. And the other thing that we're also going to witness that's going to be very interesting is that around his first couple of months or the first year of his presidency, it will appear that everything that he's seeking to get done will not be able to get passed or will not be able to get through. Almost as if he will hold power, he will hold the position, but will be muted in his power.
Well, as we begin to see this, and I believe one of the things that we're going to look at is that in this particular era, there's going to be a call for the church to begin to pray.
Wow.
Pray for the individual that will begin to hold the seat of power. And I want to go on and say this. We are now going to be in the turn of a cycle that in the next 20 years, this is 2023, we're doing this show, 2023. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I went 20 years into the future, to 2043. So we could look at it over the next 20 years, we're going to have a gender change in the presidential office. And America is going to see its first female occupy the seat of office. Now, when this come into play, because it is the will of the Lord, it may not be elected, but selected. And in that process, it will be a one-term move, but something that will cause things to become unhinged in its process. It would be the dying out of an old guard, but the emerging of a new sound that will trumpet and bring about a new level of leadership that will begin to move across the nation. So, in this, and it appears, it only appears to be one term, because that's all I can see, right? Because it may be two.
But that whoever this president is, that they would not have good success going a second time after this.
Yeah. And that's going to be a lot of controversy. So the controversy is going to be necessary because it's going to bring up all of these old conversations that needs to come to the forefront. America is coming into the age where it's going to come face to face with its own biases.
Wow.
And the biased conversations, it will not be able to escape.
Now, we said something earlier about some of the things that we're going to see socially take place also during this presidency. And one of the things that we're going to see taking place in America is that there's going to be a heightenedness that's going to come with ethnos or ethnic battles that's going to take place. And we're going to see something that's going to take place around white males in America, where they will feel threatened or feel for the first time as if they are being oppressed.
We're going to, so just like they did the overturn of affirmative action, they said we want to be fair.
Right.
It's going to reverse also, because now those that says this was fair, it's going to start to be labeled as unfair. It says, no, we got to take it around. And this is where it's going to start to cause the disruption, because anytime it disrupts people's bottom line, then there's got to be an outcry. But it's going to be the time for the this renovation in the deep core of the structure, and that's what we're going to be faced with.
Wow. We're also going to deal with some disharmony and some challenges that are going to come even in the justice system. There's going to be something very interesting, because there's going to be one of the supreme judges during this administration that is going to have a major health scare.
And will step out of office before it happens.
Whoa.
So with all of this that is going to be taking place, it's going to be a call of the collective. You're going to begin to start seeing some major offices being taken over by transgender.
Wow.
And people that represent other voices that are in the margin. It's going to be the hour that the margins are going to take the seats of power. And it's not going to be something that will be, I hate to say it like this, but this is the way Spirit's going. It's not elected by the people, but it's elected by the hand of God. Because every nation gets the leadership it deserves.
Wow.
And so therefore there's going to be leadership that's going to come into places that is going to end up there by default, going to end up there by a fluke, is going to end up there by whatever means you don't get to have the say-so, although it will look like you have the say-so. It's an era that time has come. And that's what we're going to say. For the church, I want you to begin to sow the $47 seed.
Wow.
Lord, make me ready for the 47th voice that will come to America in this season.
If you are looking to do that, look on the screen right now. You can go right to the Cash App, or you can call 1-800-232-8056, or go to prophetmanasseh.com and click the donation button and let us know that you're sowing the 47 or the 147, the 1,047, representing the 47th president. Master Prophet, we have notes that have been shared because we did not put everything that we saw in this interview.
It couldn't hold it.
And some of the stuff is so classified that we saw that YouTube and social media platforms would ban it if we put up this type of content. Those that will do the 47 or the $147 seed, I want to send you some of the notes that we have written down around this presidency. But Master Prophet, you spoke about the church now under this administration.
Yeah, because see, the voice of the church is going through a real transformative season where all of its doctrines are beginning to come to the fore.
Wow.
Parts of the church that have oppressed the women has got to be really begin to start to be thinking that. Some of the churches that had its own biases have now got to start rethinking that. And now it's almost like a church that has had a narrow cross is being called into question to say, how big is your God? And is there a broader cross that Christ wants to present? And so the prayer for this $47 seed is not so much you praying for the nation, but it's you praying for yourself. Can I accept what the will of God is for the nation?
Wow.
And how do I dance with what God is saying is so?
Wow.
There will be some things that will come into power that will not look like your say in this hour. But it is the say of what God says so, because it will be what the nation deserves in this moment.
Wow.
And that's what we're being faced with. So the 47, the 147, the 1,047, and several of you that's going to do $1,047 seed. Let it be the prayer. Lord, make me ready. What does make me ready look like? I'm ready now to do business in this type of age that is unfamiliar with me.
Now, the business model is going to change, and there's going to be certain industries that will be wiped out under this administration. But I don't want to tell them, Master Prophet, because they're going to have to sow and get the prophetic notes. And this is going to be papers and papers of where we're going to talk about the nation and what the nation will be going through in and under the 47th president administration.
Everything in life has an expiration date.
Jesus.
And we'll probably write some things down for you so that you can know what's expiring, so you can jump ship, so you don't go down with the expiration.
Wow. I want you, if you haven't been impacted, I want you to sow into the gospel and do the $47 seed. The Cash App is there. MJ, M is in Matthew, J is in Jordan, prophecies, that's plural. Make sure that you spell it out exactly the way how it is there. MJ prophecies, that goes to MJ spreading the gospel. If you would like, and then just put in there 47 presidency so that we know to send you the content. Also put your phone number in there as well as your first and last name so that we can reach you, so that we know where to send it to, as well as your email. Put all of that information there if you're watching so that we can send you the rest of the information, the rest of the prophecy around the 47th president. The other interesting thing is that there's going to be something that's going to be very interesting with the suspension of certain military weapons and also certain things that are going to be implemented that they're going to try to slow it down with the military using AI.
And not only that, but even some of the things that's going to probably modification inside people dietary structure, that they're going to begin to notice of things that are going to be exposed. Like all of a sudden, why is it that there is numbers of people that just getting cancers all of a sudden, or certain things that the physical body was able to fight before but can't fight now? What is it that has entered into the dietary system? And has there been something messing with the genetics of our being? And so when you begin to look at technology with artificial intelligence is not just going to be taking place where, you're looking at your Chat GPT or your Jasper AI or the different, there's literally thousands of AIs out here now. But there's going to be things that's going to be actually monitoring and censoring your health, AI. And there's going to be those that's going to be able to get in front of it, but there's going to be others that's going to be dragged by it. All of this is taking place in the next 7 years.
We're also going to see major holes that are going to be exposed around the healthcare market and insurance companies.
There will be people that will not even be able to be insured in certain areas. It's going to affect the housing.
Wow. And the other thing that I'm not going to speak publicly is that this whole thing that Master Prophet spoke about is the food situation. But the Lord gave me a particular name, a name of a particular person that's going to come into major power in controlling food. And they're going to be doing something in turn that is more than just the GMOs, but they're going to be dealing with something with messing with the proteins in food that's going to deal with affecting the genome of the human body. Those, get your seat in now so we can send you the prophetic notes. These are going to be papers and things that are going to be noted and things that we kept out of this because we wanted it to stay on the public platform. Do the 147, the 1047, the 247. Make sure you put in there the 47th president, send me the prophecy notes so that we can rush this to you and you can get the rest of this information. And even about this particular person that's going to be coming into great power, this billionaire that the Lord spoke to me about, that's going to be very strategic with working with this administration of the 47th president. Master Prophet, how can we prepare for this next administration?
To stay in prayer. To stay in prayer and stay connected with ministries that are leading from the future. Because church as we have known it will not be the church that will be leading us in the future. Make sure you're connected to a son or a daughter of Issachar. Ministries like Manasseh, Jordan Ministries, that is leading you from the future, that is giving you information, because when a prophet speaks, what is off today become the light switch on.
Wow. So what must we do, people? We must watch to cover our mind and pray to cover our spirit. God bless you.